Big body.
What's up?
What up, big body?
What's going on?
Courtney. How you doing,
Hi.
Courtney?
Fine, Flash. How are you?
What's up, everybody? We gonna let this ride a little bit, y'all, just to get us kind of in a little bit of a mood. Welcome to DJ. Welcome to the DJ Information Group Talk Show.
How you doing, Courtney?
We doing what we gotta do, you know what I mean? So we gonna have ourselves a good time. We're gonna talk about some things, whether it be software, whether it be equipment or whatever. So now we're gonna get into that. We're gonna ride this out a little bit.
We're not. Now talk, because it's overpowering your voice.
What's up, peoples? How's everybody doing out there today?
Good.
Got DJ Rod Flash. My man is bringing back memories to me because he's on the train, yo. Oh my God, man. Man, what is that looking like over there? There's a lot of people on the train right now. Oh man, it's like super empty, man. Man, y'all trains are clean. Oh dang, man. That's all right. BB, what's going on? How you been?
Can't complain.
Cool beans. You sure you all right?
Yeah.
Look how you just threw that whatever that is in your mouth. You like, can't complain.
My onion.
They pay you to eat?
Yeah, my lunch hour.
It's her lunch hour. I hear
For the
that.
last 2 hours.
Oh boy, that must be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Must be nice.
Wasting the taxpayers' money.
Then we got DJ Swerve. DJ Swerve, he don't have his video on, so you can't see him, but you might be able to hear him if he says something. But today, and we're gonna have a few other members coming through from the DJ Information Group. But one of the big topics for today that we did talk about in the group meeting was I broke down, and yeah, I said I was not going to do it, so I kind of reneged on it. And that is I said I wasn't going to buy a rain mixer or any rain 12 tables. So I didn't buy the 12 tables, but I for sure bought a rain mixer. It wasn't a Mark II, uh, the Mark One. But you know, actually, I don't even know. I can't even say Mark One because the Rain 70 is the unit that came out in the interim between the Mark One, or should we say Mark Two 70, Mark One 70, 72, and the Mark Two 72. And basically, we found out that a lot of the features that is in the Rain 70 is in the Rain 72. Is that correct, Flash?
Yeah, but it's a little different, but it's pretty much the same features.
Cool beans. So I reneged on that deal and I got the 70, and it's a nice mixer. It's a very nice mixer. It's a huge mixer compared to like my new Newmark Scratch. It's a huge mixer. And it has a lot of features on it. One of the features that I really enjoyed right off the bat was transport mode. Being able to play with no tables whatsoever, just your laptop, that's a game changer. You can, you know, you shoot, you could do a little kid party or something like that with your laptop and your mixer. You don't even need anything else.
Speaking of the
I
kids
guess that's.
party, I like the fact that you sitting there watching Elmo.
Oh yeah, you see that in the background. Huh? I forgot to
I
turn
like
it
that.
that is this is all part of, we'll call this all part of the pandemic situation, as my granddaughter, she's running around here somewhere.
Okay.
And
Blame it on your granddaughter.
she has Elmo on every TV in this house right now,
Okay.
upstairs and downstairs.
Your
So
granddaughter, huh?
yeah,
Okay.
I'm sticking to it. That's what I'm sticking to.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. So I got this mixer, and along with the mixer, being that I didn't want to keep bouncing back and forth with my Newmark system because I have the Newmark Scratch and I have the Newmark NTX 1000s. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead on and get me some new tables so that I'll have two sets of tables to where I don't have to um, keep bouncing back and forth. So I decided to invest in, instead of the Rain 12s, I got the Reloop um, RP 8000s and Mark 2s, RP 8000 Mark 2s, and as you guys see, my granddaughter came in here, and she has a chain from somewhere, and I hope it's not Gmon's, because Gmon is gonna be like, oh, she broke my chain again. So I bought that. And then we got everything set up. I did an unboxing, a live unboxing of the Rain, of the everything, connected everything, and then the fun began. So which was really cool, um and it had, I'm sorry y'all, and it was one of those things where you don't know until you get it all done, or you don't really know about the full product, no matter how many videos you watch or any of that, until you get it all set and done. So
But
what I did, was I go watch Elmo. Go watch Elmo. I I'm sorry, y'all. We call
Shame, G Pop.
this all the pandemic. We call these pandemic situations here.
but
So,
Square, you know what? I'm gonna add something to that.
okay.
As we've been DJing and we know this equipment, right?
Yes, sir.
Why do nobody never read the instructions?
Oh, you got that right, man. 100%. And I'll be honest with you. The one thing that I did not do was I did not read the instructions. I plugged it in first, but you know what? After that flash, the first thing I did
Was grab
at night
instructions.
afterwards is read the instructions, and
Uh,
that's where and then I clicked on the screen and I saw where I had to set that particular table as that. But then you reiterated where you had done some research, and you was like, "That's that," and I figured it was pretty much, but I had not done it yet. So what we're talking about here is when I plugged in, the Reloops are awesome tables. And what we found out is that the Reloop actually has 8 performance pads on it.
yes.
And one of the cool features on the Reloop 8000s is that you can also do something called platter play. And platter play allows you to have a MIDI device connected into it. Plus, it has a built-in MIDI device itself because of the performance pads.
Right, because
So,
all the pads are the MIDI.
so you set all of that,
I'm good. How are you? You good?
Good, yeah.
That's what's up.
and then I found out that, okay, the performance pads was working great. I was on table number 1 scratching and doing all that stuff and using the performance pads, and I was like, yo. And like I was hearing on the videos, it was actually true, where instead of having 8 performance pads now, you could have 16. And the other piece of that too is I could have my tables, and let's say I wanted to have those in my samples, and then have my mixer on the cue pads, or vice versa. I could have all that set up and never have to change it again. But then when I shifted over to the second channel, it only was activated for the first channel. And the more I thought about it, which made me pick up the book too, it made perfect sense. And that was because that's the default shipping configuration. Because some people don't buy they'll buy 2 turntables. Some people just buy 1 turntable. So they set it for the number 1 channel, the base channel, the primary channel when you first started out. Is that right, Flash?
Yep.
So I was like, okay,
So,
I'm gonna figure this all out. And sure enough, once I figured it out, I was like, I'm gonna go back and read some more, and then go from there. But I just really was like, holy smoke. Just thinking about, at first I got a little scared because I was like, man, I done put all this money into this stuff, and I'm only gonna be able to use one side. I was like super duper excited, and then all of a sudden, for a minute, my excitement just kind of went down. It was kind of like, well, you saw how my granddaughter, I said, go watch Elmore, and she took off. She was kind of upset with G Pops, or as she called me, Pop Pops. So one of them did.
but yeah, only reason I say the instructions, because what these mixers now is a lot of MIDI. It's like these turntables and mixers are like computers. And a lot of stuff that we used to do. Remember when we done a turntable, was just a turntable, you played it and you had a mixer that went up and down. You didn't have all this MIDI stuff in it. So I think a lot of people go into it not knowing that they think I know it all. Because I'm guilty of that too. But we go in there, we know it all, but we don't know shit.
True that.
So, and it's a whole different beast from if you get a Rain mixer till you get a Pioneer mixer. It's gonna be a different layout. They're gonna do different stuff.
Right.
And each button gonna be different to a degree. So only thing I say, people read the instructions. It tells you that when you get it, read the instructions first.
It does. It does. But you know, but this is exactly what we get the fact that we get excited about it. And the next thing you know, here, and then we go like this. We go, oh, this is the instructions, everything, and we put it aside, and we just keep putting stuff out. And that's exactly what's happening. DJ Travis Gales, what's up, my man?
What's up, man? Finally getting that wire put in.
Which wire?
Cat 5.
Oh, that's all right, man.
Yep.
That's all right.
I just got it installed.
We're sitting here talking about how when you get new equipment and you're unboxing, you should take the instructions and read them. Because I had my Reloop 8000s that I took out, and initially we found out that they were only working on one channel, but all I had to do was go ahead on and map it over to the second channel, which I've not done yet, of course, but I will.
Yeah, man. Well, like I said, I just wired my room up here, so I got no more excuses with internet speed now.
Cool beans. Did you do it yourself?
No, he too lazy for that.
Right.
Did you have a professional come in and do it?
Yes.
It's at one or the other. I know that.
So they ran it through the walls?
No, he found it's a little about a half an inches space, quarter inch space underneath my
walls
where my carpet is.
Mm-hmm.
And so he just popped it right behind there. No drilling. He did have to put a little slat over one room over the door frame He had to put one piece over there, and that's what he's doing right now. But other than that, no wires are showing until you get into the room.
Cool beans.
Big body, no shopping at work. Get your ass to work.
What? So we're gonna do another test of the reloop system once I get all that squared away and go from there. So because it came out, the system itself, I think that the system overall looks pretty good. It's a pretty tight looking setup. But the only thing is that I did not listen to what the instructions told me to do. So the message is, when you buy new equipment, make sure that if there are instructions in the box, which there will be, read those joints. Otherwise, you will be like me and be like, man, this is only working on one side. Until you go back and say, yeah, right here it says. So I will definitely do that. Now, while I wait on Swerve to talk about he has this thing that he wants to bring up about, first off, the S9.
Yeah, Square. Just before you jump into it, I'm guilty. I don't read instructions. Really, pretty much most of the gear that if I go into it, first and foremost, I know what I'm buying because I do extensive research on it, and I'll know if I want to get it or not. What I buy is I don't think I ever returned anything, ever brought something and sell it. That's not my thing. That's not what I do. So pretty much when I get what I get, it's pretty much a done deal after that. And I know if I want it, if I don't want it, but I do extensive research on, what I'm getting. And that's meaning the YouTube or being a part of these groups, which is very helpful. Very helpful. I ran into a brick wall with a couple of things I wanted to do that they don't have that in the manual. And I called the company. They don't even know what the hell kind of language I'm speaking of, but I know it can be done. Going to a group from people that's using the product and they help me out. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Now check this out. On my reloops, I watched like at least 20 videos about those reloop tables before I ordered them. Even though I ordered them like soon as we started talking to them, but that whole night I was on there watching these videos, watching over and over and over. And none of those videos made any comments on the fact that if you have two tables, you have to make sure that you set one. You have to change some settings to make sure it communicates and supports the second channel vice, where it's automatically defaulted to the first channel. And I was like, so that's just one of them things.
Are you part of a reloop group? I know they got a group.
Not yet. I have not been.
Man, read the instructions. Then you get a better understanding what they're talking about. Yeah, that's just, what I mean?
But on the flip side of that, a lot of people can't comprehend what they read.
Well, I can help them with that. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. I can help you with that.
Let's be real.
You're right.
It's sometimes
right, because
people
there's a lot of stuff that I read, and I'm like, what the hell are they talking about?
Exactly. They don't. Sometimes they might use the language and terms, and
right.
that industry. I can't even say it's industry standard.
Right, like
but
because Big Body, they say no eating at work and playing on the computer at work and you at work. That was in the job manual.
yeah, that wasn't in the drop.
I
Yeah.
skipped that part.
So
all right, y'all. I'll holler at y'all later.
Sometimes
All right,
All right, Flash.
All right, Flash. Sometimes people can understand better by what they see. So they'll look at videos, or maybe somebody that do talk the language that they speak might say, hey, all you got to do is do this and do that. Like one time, real quick, one time I had a situation with, I think it was Serato sampler, and connecting that with my with my with my native instrument machine, and also with the Kai. And I was having the hardest time doing that. I called the Kai to try to, and they didn't know what the hell I was talking about. I called Serato. They didn't know what the hell I was talking about. I'm like, damn. So that stuff and everything such like that, it don't come with a manual. So some stuff, hardware, yes. But if it's a software thing, it don't come with a manual. Not most of them. So I went in a group. I said what the kind of problem I'm having. Somebody hit me back exactly, step for step, word for word, what to do. I did that, what they said. Bam, I got it. And it worked. And I was like, man, I'm going to start coming in here more and asking, yo, I'm having this problem, XYZ, XYZ. Anyone else had this problem? And 9 times out of 10, you'll probably get an answer.
True, because it's kind of that situation where it's been there, done that, got the T-shirt for it kind of situation when you go in these groups, and it's good to have that kind of support for sure. But that should still not relieve you as the person who owns the equipment of the
Well, I am. Yeah.
of the
All you doing is
Responsibility.
responsibility of reading your own
I'm able to get the wireless. Close that door.
Yep. Travis, you gotta mute your mic when you speak.
I'm sorry.
So
yeah. And then too, not to get on Travis, but if you like Travis now, he don't buy brand new. So 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna get no manual if you buy used. So you gotta figure it out where you figure it out. So
I figured out from the guy that sold it to me. That's how I figured it out.
either that way or go to YouTube. And I know Travis. Yeah, see, I know Travis stand by YouTube for sure. Yep. You know what I mean? Some people call YouTube the Bible. Somebody up there probably might show how to work this, how to do that. But on a second note, like you said, Square, somebody might not even covered what you covered. But you know what? That's an opportunity for you to cover the problem that you're having on YouTube to hopefully help somebody else out. You know what I'm saying? So once you figure that out, you do a tutorial on, the problem you had, how you figured it out, and hopefully it come across, to somebody that way if they purchase that product that you have, they can get it going. Because yeah, you're right. Not a lot of people know and they could read the manual, yeah, but some people can't understand what they're saying in the manual. And some people are just lazy. They just don't want to read. So there's all kind of factors in that. Your mic is off, Square.
So there's definitely a big lesson to be learned when, like I say, when we get this stuff, we should at least think about taking the time. Just take a few minutes, read your stuff over, and then from there, even if you don't read it in full detail, kind of skim over it because there will be some key points in there somehow, especially if you have some equipment that is, you know, really technologically advanced in with and feature rich. You'll find that a lot. So it's just all in a matter of time. Just take that little bit of time, and I'll be the first to say I did not take that time. So once I take the time to go in and just map, click, map, click, map, click, map, click, then table two will work with channel two, and I'll be good to go. Yep. So I think we've learned the biggest thing here on that is read the manual. You got some new equipment, read the manual. And in Travis's case, where you only get used equipment, there's still a manual for it on the internet. And of course, we all know that our saving ground and our saving grace is YouTube. So we could always go to and pull stuff and find all the instructions that we need on YouTube. And the other resource is a lot of groups like Facebook groups that target that specific piece of equipment in most cases. And if not that specific piece of equipment, at least that brand to where you can go in and ask about your particular piece of equipment.
And the next reason is call a friend.
Call a friend. Call someone who could possibly help you figure it out because guess what? Two minds are always better than one. So,
case in point, the situation Genius had with his fade.
Yep.
Fade. The first person he hit, it was like me, and then me and Joe was talking about it, and we was helping him with the situation because he was on the line for hours with Rain, trying to figure it out.
Yep. Yeah. And and we spoke about that in the last episode where Genius actually had the fader situation, and he called both you and Joe Storm on that. And and he was able to get it resolved instead of sitting on tech support for hours and hours, so and that's another good thing about DJs supporting DJs. That right there is big, because and that's the way it should be. That's exactly how it should be, as it relates to what we do and how we definitely need to move forward as it relates to our culture. We had a big guest on last night, and we spoke about that, I think, pretty much in depth. We had a legend on last night, and it came from his mouth, about just pretty much, in a nutshell, just everyone, uplifting the culture, and as part of uplifting the culture, that ties in with us working together and doing different things. So yes, and that big legendary artist that are not artists but DJ, although DJs are artists. um it was DJ Tony Crush. So it was really good to see him and talk to him last night. The group, we really supported. We really uh, um, put in the work last night on that. So that was good that what we did there last night. So now I think we beat a dead horse with that. So the next topic that we're going to talk about is something that's been on the floor now for about, I think it's been about 2 weeks, but we've been talking about it for like the past, oh my God, I'd say the past year. And that is the mixer that, most DJs have. There's either one or two mixers out there that most DJs will tell you. They either love the Rain 70, 72, or 70 series, or the other beast is the Pioneer DDJM S9. So the S9 has been around a long time. It's been around since like what was it?
15.
2015. So we got 5 years on this particular mix out there. And this mixer was, of course, out there before the 72 and, of course, the 70. So some of the things that we see in the 72 and the 70, of course, those types of features are not going to be in the S9. But a lot of DJs who purchased this particular mixer at that time still felt that there should have been some things on this mixer that that should have been standard. For example, the cue points. The cue points are not on separate. They're not separate channels. Performance pads, I should say. They're not separate channels. Is that correct? Am I explaining that correctly, Swerve?
Independent pad independent pad functionality.
Gotcha.
I'm
So
trying to be very more diplomatic about it. But yeah. So yeah, basically that. But you know, like Rain had some time to study what the S9 had and didn't have, and they implemented into their product, which is what first was the 72, and took it a little bit above and beyond what the S9 didn't have, you know, the future. And then they ain't waste no time, because the 72 only was out for what, 2 years, and then they came out with the 70 along with a couple of months later the 70 Mark II. So they ain't waste no time, and it wasn't no 5-year span for Rain and coming up and upgrading that stuff. But now Pioneer, instead of them being studied, they were studying Rain, and they paid attention to what I guess DJs was asking for, and they implement, which I still don't know all in depth what. I really want to see the back of the mixer. I see what the top of the front looks like, but I want to see as far as the back of the mixer, because I do, one of the things that me and Joe have been talking about is, if you don't know, like you asked me the other day, about session in, session out, and I said, it's pretty much like auxiliary, you know, auxiliary in, auxiliary out. I know Big Body has a S9, so on the back of the S9, you only have auxiliary out, I believe. There's no in on the back of the so if you was to, I think it's either in or out. I don't even got mine's out to see, look, but it only has one of the other. It don't have in and out. So if you're doing recording, or if you want to have something going in, you're not able to do that. You probably have to plug it through something else. Because if you're already using your main out in your booth, you don't have no other way of going, you know, coming into the mixer, unless you were to put, I guess, into one of the lines or something. But let's say if that's used with turntables and your phase. So let's say you got your phase hooked up, turntables hooked up, your booth slots is full, your main, of course, is full, and then let's say you got something in your aux, but you want to play your phone or something else. You don't have that ability. So hopefully they add extra stuff to it. You know, in the Rain.
Can't you repeat that again about the aux? Because I remember, that was my turn. That was my controller.
Square Nine, if you could look, go online and look at the back of the S9. I believe it's out on aux. I believe it's out. It only has an out.
It's all auxiliary in. It's no out.
It's all auxiliary in. It's in, right? I know it's in or out. Okay, so yeah, so you can only go in, but it doesn't have an out.
Correct.
So hopefully they add. Hopefully they add that. And what else? Yo, Joe, since you on and me and you've been speaking about it, what's some of the things that you hope that the S11 should have that they didn't have before? Yo.
Yeah.
You heard what I said?
No, what did you say?
I said, what's some of the things on the S11 you think they should have that they didn't have in the S9 that they don't have on the S9?
Definitely independent effects, which I'm pretty sure they're gonna have that. I would hope that they're gonna have a double. Hold on, let me cut my screen on. Hopefully they have a double microphone situation. You can hook up 2 microphones. A section they need to have like a CD line for like people that own phase. You know, CD auxiliary line.
They had that covered on the old one because I was able to hook the phase and have turntables hooked up. So they had that covered on the old one.
Well, they got the screen, you know, for people that want the screen. They should have everything now. I would assume that the 72 offers. Only thing that I would say different, and it's not probably gonna be on this mixer. It should be a standalone, along with being able to operate the software also. That's the only thing else I can see.
So the question I have is, what if they come and let's say they make it where they do the independent pad structure or the feature that everyone has been looking for, but that's pretty much the only thing they change. They don't put any screen on it. They don't put any.
Well, it's a screen. It's the screen on it. It's a screen on it.
Well, they got 2 different versions, and supposedly, from what the picture is showing. It could be right or wrong. We don't know, but there are 3 versions.
Now, see the other piece. Now, can we confirm that these are really the actual S11s? You know how stuff gets released. You get these prototypes released and whatever, and then when it gets released, there's nothing like it. So that's the other thing. See, I know that what we have done, we've and I mean the DJ community via social media has really built up this hype on these devices. Now, if these devices come back and they are nothing like what we've been seeing, what kind of disappointments are what level of disappointment will that bring?
For a lot of people, it's gonna bring a lot of disappointment. For me, I don't care.
Swerve, what about yourself?
Hold on a second.
While we wait on Swerve, BB, you have an S9. You're an S9 DJ. So
I am, but I don't know nothing about no technology. So whatever you was about to ask, you get it.
Gotcha. So right now, pretty much, you're just satisfied with your S9, and that's it.
I am, as long as I got a crossfader.
Yeah, channels and crossfaders and switch and knobs. That's all she needs. That could be any damn mixer.
Right. And pretty key bank.
Pretty keypads. Yeah. And let me tell you something about BB's mixer. BB's mixer is pink, and it's pink and purple. And on top of the S9 being pink and purple itself with all the knobs and everything, she has pink and purple cables, y'all.
Yep.
So yeah, but
my vinyl, yep, that's my color scheme: pink, purple, and white.
Wow. So we'll see what happens. Maybe there'll be something that'll entice you enough that you'll see in this new device that's coming from Pioneer that might just spark enough interest to where you may want to change. But
what y'all think the price point might be?
Now again, the S9 it was 1,600, so you can only imagine.
Yeah, see me, I know we always say, like for example, the S9, they're selling them for $1,699, and we usually call that 1,600, but really is 1,700. But if they put that screen and stuff on there, man, they may charge $200 more. They may
More
charge
than $200 more.
The funny thing,
Nah, I don't think they're gonna play in the ballpark of what Rain is. They're not gonna be, well, they shouldn't be, because with the last device that they came out with, that CDJ, is pretty ridiculous. And we all know that the competition is way cheaper and got way more features. So hopefully put the price outside, because it's cheaper and the quality is structure is better. Metal instead of plastic, hard plastic. I mean, that's just my take on it.
So I'm sorry, say that one more time. So you're saying that the metal construction, there is not a metal construction on the supposedly on the the new, well, on the S9 now, and the current one. Only thing that's metal, I think, is what, the faceplate or something like that. Is that correct?
No, it's hard plastic.
yes.
Yeah, hard.
So here's the other thing. I know we've been talking about heavy metal and plastic. That turns out to be some of those things that we talk about as DJs on in equipment or whatever. But does that metal or plastic construction really matter? To the core of it, does it really matter, as long as the actual features and functions of the device does its job?
Go ahead, Joe, answer that. I'm curious to hear what Joe's gonna say.
I mean, to be honest with you, it matters to a point as far as quality. You know, if you'll do that, even in cases, you know, I heard people that had their S9 where something mechanically inside of it would mess up, even in a case. I think the metal housing will protect it. But even still, I mean, if you're careful and you're good in transport, you ain't banging shit around, you ain't going every damn where. Personally, I had both mixes. It don't really matter to me because I know how to handle my stuff. But everybody don't really know how to do that. But in your case, Square, now what you saying, to be totally honest, it doesn't.
Gotcha.
Now, I will say this from experience. When metal gets, when metal gets cold or hot, that can also change the mechanics inside the device. So metal can be good or it can be bad. With plastic, it don't really matter whether it's hot or cold, unless it's something blistering hot that's going to melt the plastic. Other than that, you can kind of go through climate changes with plastic versus metal. So it's like a double-edged sword. But in either device, you got to know how to take care of it.
Gotcha. Yeah, because see, that's always been that thing. Because as part of all this stuff that you'll hear with the features, they'll say, "Oh, it's made of pure, heavy steel, or it's this, or it's that," and I'm sitting there going, "Should that really matter, though? Should that really, really matter?" Because for every piece of metal that is added onto that particular device, you just added more weight to the device. So that's the other piece that people don't understand. And I'm like, um, let's really have a conversation about that, because I hear some people had let that be the talking point, or the selling point for different pieces of equipment. Oh, it's constructed with metal, it's built like a tank. And then when they say that, the only question I have is, what are you going to do? Are you going to take your equipment and throw it against the wall or room somewhere, or throw it in the street or whatever? Because last time I checked, every piece of equipment that I have that can fit in a case is in a case. It's in a case of some sort. So it's going to be protected regardless to what construction it has, whether it's plastic or metal. So,
well, let me say this. I totally agree with you 100%, 1,000, because back in the day, everybody know all mixers were made of metal, steel. You know, we didn't have a choice, or rather it was plastic. But as companies became smarter, they said, you know, why, you know, keep making these mixers all metal? We might as well conform to plastic, and the cost is cheaper, you know, rather than dealing with plastic. You know, to make a plastic box versus a metal box, you're talking a big price difference. And then America doesn't produce metal at all. So, you know, it's a lot of factors. I mean, but like you said, unless you're ready to throw it against the wall, something crazy, you know, that's something else. Because even now with the Rain mixer, you still got a all plastic fader and channel.
Right.
So go figure. You got all metal around it. It's all metal, but your fader and channel, you got, if you want a metal fader and channel, you got to go sort another company to buy all metal, so you won't break the shit if you're heavy-handed. So, feel me?
Oh yeah, I feel you. Definitely feel you. So,
Didn't the price of plastic go up? The price of plastic, I think, went up.
The price of plastic?
Yeah. I heard like metal's cheaper than, a little bit cheaper now than plastic. So,
Time to invest. Time to invest.
And let me point out one last thing. For anybody that's discouraged about the price, people forget that the Rain 62, when it first came out, was $2,000. People forget that. When the Rain 62 very first came out, after they created the 57 and all that, the Rain 62 being that was the first mixer of that kind, was $2,000. So they showed you then that this price point was going towards that.
Yeah. And you know,
I don't think.
Say that one more time, Swerve.
No, I'm saying like I think if there are two versions of the new Pioneer mixer, I think it's gonna be in a ballpark figure. They're gonna be in competition with what Rain's doing. So it'll probably be in a 15 to 18 ballpark. You know, hopefully it won't be over 2,000, because if they do that and it doesn't the features, if it doesn't blow people out the park, then they're shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah. Well, I feel you in that. In the chat box, of course, DJ Big said he came through. He's talking about Raiders. You know, he sent that over to Travis Gales. And then of course, Power Jams DJs, DJ J Rock is in the house. And when we were talking about the price, what it could potentially be, J Rock said $18.99 or more. And I agree with him totally on that. And then he said also the price of lumber has went up 50%. So all the materials and everything that is being utilized to construct certain things, you know, of course, everything is going up, which is going to drive, you know, whatever we're using up. Especially this pandemic has not been very nice to us in terms of that, because when the Mark II, for example, what was it? The Mark II 12s came out for a couple more buttons and DVS feature. They took it up, what, $200? They were the $200 more now,
in my opinion.
So, and what was that, Swerve?
I think 100 more. I think it's 100 more.
Okay.
I think it's $900 instead of $800.
So, and do
It's
you think
900
that
instead of 800.
do you think that extra $100 is worth it? I'm sorry.
I mean, they did add a few new things, and you can't really find the Mark Ones like that. They kind of put that to the side a bit. I mean, I'm sure if you go searching, you could find a Mark One if that's what you want. But these companies are kind of doing it smart. They're pulling old product off the shelf and putting a new product up here, and they'll put another $50 or $100 or whatever on it. And if you still want it, okay, now you're forced to get that. Because the old one you can't even find. So it's like kind of no choice. Because I'm sure if they still had a lot of Mark Ones out on the shelves, more people will go with that. I'm like, well, it kind of do kind of the same thing minus the little this, that, and the third. So I'm gonna get that for $100 less. That's some people's mindset.
Gotcha. So we've talked about this. We've of course talked about the reloop situation that I had, and we've also taken a segue and put that into read the manual, and then also now we've been talking about the S9 being getting ready to become the old piece as something is going to come out there from Pioneer. The rumor is that it's going to be the DDJM S11. There's been a lot of photos circulating around about this thing, and it does have a screen on it. It has some other features that seem to be new, but then a lot of old. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue to look out for this stuff and see where it goes.
Ask J Rock, does he read the manual?
Yeah, J Rock, Swerve asked, "Do you read the manual?" So while he's if J Rock is still here, while he answers that, I tell you, equipment wise, it's just been one of those things. But I've also found myself, I don't know, maybe this is just me. Every time I buy new equipment, I buy wires specific for that equipment. So now I have a ton of wires too, and I'm a big Pig Hog fan. And yesterday, and I even though I have HOSA, so I have HOSA, but I'd say 98% of my cables are Pig Hog, and the other 2% is HOSA. What do you?
Hoser.
Yeah, what are you guys using?
Same Hoser.
Gotcha.
Whatever's on Amazon.
She said, "Whatever's on Amazon." I hear that. Yes, indeed.
Not big body, you got to be careful of that because you can't just get any wires and hook up to your thousands and $1,000 equipment. That can mess and damage your equipment. Just to let you know.
I agree.
I get that. But that was at the time, that was the only one that sold pink and purple.
Pink and
XLR fluid.
That was the deciding factor on it.
Yep.
We're gonna have to have a class with you, girl.
What? You don't like pink and purple?
No, you purchase off of color instead of actual functionality.
I needed, at the time, I needed XLR cables that I can distinguish between mine and somebody else's, and pink and purple was what it was.
J Rock said, "Nah, he doesn't really, not really. He doesn't really read the manual either." So I guess a lot of us are guilty of that. Because, like I say, we'll crack open the box, everything is there, and then right on the top, it has the manual, and usually inside the manual packet, they'll have, if you have if it's a Serato card or something that comes with it, you'll have your warranty manual, you'll have your instruction manual, your quick user guide, and sometimes the cables in there, or they'll have it separate. But you will put that aside and then keep going. And if you have to revisit that particular packet, it's just so you can flip it over, crack it open, pull the wires out, and then you're going to put it down again. So that's pretty much it. BB, what were you getting ready to say?
Did somebody say something about Grindhouse?
Brian House.
Grind House. For the
Grind
XLR
House.
cable. Yeah.
I don't see anything about that.
No, I mean, did somebody in here say something about that? Was the name of it the XLR cables that they have?
no. Grind House. That's the kind of cable that you have.
Yeah.
Okay. I will have a look at those and see what those are about. But you know, they do have color pig hog cables as well. They're a little bit more expensive.
That's fine. As long as I can get pink and purple, I'm good.
Pink and purple.
You said what kind of hog?
Big Said says conservative Joe. I don't know what that means.
That mean that he's saying that I don't have no bad side with anything. I go with it. Whatever.
Gotcha.
That's what he's saying.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we have come to and now it's right at 2:30, and we've been talking for a little bit here. And just to recap, we have gone through and spoken about, you know, of course, the fact that you really should read the manual, and then also when you get new equipment, just take your time with it and really get to know and research the equipment before you undertake the whole take on the whole thing of functionality and trying to operate these pieces of equipment. But we're probably just going to throw that one out the door, to be honest.
Joe, you read the manual? Joe read the manual? He ain't get his
I
take, does
never
he?
read a manual.
See?
Uh-oh. We have
My coworkers over there laughing. They said it's all in my head and shit. And stuff. My fault. And stuff.
Yes, indeed. So one of those things, man. Then we switched into, of course, the like I say, we started talking about this new Pioneer thing. Hopefully, it won't be disappointing, because you know I can't help, you know, I really like Pioneer. Pioneer makes some great stuff, and I tell you, I love my 1000 SRT. But I really got upset with Pioneer when I remember back when I bought my SX2. Now, there was nothing, I didn't see anything pertaining to anything coming out. I bought the SX2, and 3 months later, what did they do? Release the SX3. And the only difference between those two that I saw, and Big said that he saw something else, but was the USB, the dual USBs on the back. Now I remember, if I recall correctly, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, if he's still here, where he said that there was a difference in the feel of the jog wheels, but I don't know. He said there was more friction on one than the other, if I'm correct. Big said
What, for the SX3?
one of them had a little bit tighter feel than the other, but I haven't experienced the SX3, but the SX2 to me felt perfect.
Man, that shit felt like it was broke. I ain't gonna lie. It felt like that's one of the reasons I kind of got rid of it, because the mic was trash. Cause I had an SX2. The mic was trash and the jogs felt like they were broke. So, I mean, I used it for like 2 years, and then I finally just was like, let me get something else.
Yeah, Big said that, of course, the dual XB, the onboard effects, you know, I guess they tweaked those a little bit, and then the jog wheels seem to be too tight. So, but I never experienced the SX3. SX2 is really good, and he said also the faders were too tight. But I really enjoyed my SX2. I have 7 controllers, one of which I'm donating and hopefully getting out of here this week. because I've been saying it forever. And then the other is my Starlight controller. I have a mixed deck quad that was my first controller. I have the Denon 4000, the Denon 7000, the Pioneer SX2, and I have the Pioneer 1000 SRT. So, and they all are used in different events. So I put them all to work at different times, which works great. So it's not like I got them stacked and not using them. But eventually I'll try to chop that down to my 3 most used. But for all the different types of events and things that I have been using thus far, they've been equally spread out. But I got to tighten it down a little bit because carrying all these extra things is and storing all this stuff is really amazing.
Yeah,
Listen,
ridiculous.
this is what I'm gonna need. I'm gonna ask you. Do not make me change my XLR cable
Yes,
because
yes,
because,
they got to
because
go.
I had these pink and purple XLR cables way before I even bought pallet speakers.
They got to go. They got to go.
If your XLR cables are working for you, hey, they work for you right now. But just know that what
Right now.
I would definitely purchase an extra pair to have on standby, because if they fail, they're not going to fail at your crib.
Right.
It's no,
No,
it's very
no.
it's Murphy's law that when the DJ is out at a gig is when all the stuff is going to hit the fan for him or her.
No, I
So,
definitely.
so that's the deal there. But we have reached our time almost.
Yeah, and
What's
two,
up,
I would
Danny?
suggest.
Hold up. We got Danny T in here.
I was going to say Danny T just popped in. Danny T, I don't know if you had an opportunity to listen at all to what we were talking about in terms of the S9 and reading the manual and all that good stuff. But first, I'll ask you this question. When you buy new gear, do you read the manual?
Not really. I mean, because a lot of gear has, it has a lot of features that people use, and I don't get much into using a whole lot of features that I have to use the manual. So,
gotcha.
But what I use it for, I normally don't have to look at the manual unless I'm trying to do something different and I know that it's capable of it, and then I'll look it up.
Gotcha.
I've bought all types of gear over the years, and like I said, I have all the manuals saved for reference in case I need it. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
And then also, what's your take on what is to come from Pioneer? And you're looking at any major differences between the S9 and what they are now dubbing the S11?
I don't really see much difference. I see it as them just catching up with the industry.
Gotcha.
So maybe the next one, they'll move ahead. But I don't foresee it happening that way because that's not normally what they do. They normally just catch up, provide what everybody else is providing, so they have a choice. And for those that love Pioneer, they'll get the Pioneer. Those want another brand, they'll get the other brand. So,
gotcha. Yeah. Makes perfect sense.
I have an S9. I have all Pioneer stuff, my 900 Nexus and stuff. So if I were to get something else, most likely it's going to be Pioneer, because of the relationship I have with them, so
gotcha.
Yeah.
And having a good relationship makes all things better, you know what I mean? So I could totally understand that. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to ourselves, as we are able to get to this expo. If we don't, and with the expo, that's the other thing. We don't even know if this thing is still going to happen or not. Right now it's still on the schedule, but I hope they don't get us down to the last minute and say it's canceled.
Yeah. Absolutely not, because I just bought my ticket.
So, yeah,
I've been following my bus ticket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been following some of the other expos that's been going on at Harrah's, and those have been going on.
Okay.
So
Okay.
maybe it's going to happen, but from what I've seen so far, I haven't seen any cancellation for other ones up there so far.
Okay. Cool beans.
Yeah.
So this has been great, y'all. And let me see. Big says, tell BB to get them 2 basketballs off the screen. I'm trying to eat my lunch. Oh my God.
Oh,
Hey, you gonna you gonna have to
Okay, horrible.
you gonna have to clap back.
I'll do that. I'll do that off while you're not recording. Y'all was disgusting.
Oh my God. So let's walk around the table here and
Oh, Square
virtual-
Now, can I say one thing?
Yes, sir.
Can I would, well, it could be a suggestion for the future, but BB, if with your wires, I will probably consider, if you want, that's up to you, get a cable tester so you can test your cables. So you know what's bad
Where do I get
cables,
that from?
good cables.
Amazon.
They got Amazon joints. They got a few.
Okay.
You know, everybody. I'm sure Square Now, you got one, right? I'm sure everybody
Got
should
one
have.
in my toolkit. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I keep.
I'm looking at it right now while I'm
But
on
you want to get the one.
cable tester.
I mean, you want to get the one that pretty much
Does it
does
all.
the one. Yeah, it has like all, like not just XLRs, quarter inch, you know, from I'm gonna just draw on a blank. It does HDMI cables. It does like almost all cables that we probably use in the industry that we in.
Right. Well, what I'll do, BB, is I'll send you a link to the ones like I have and a couple others so that you can do, so that we can close out, because I literally have 19 minutes before I have to start my podcast. But I will definitely send that over to you and then go from there. But yeah, that's a very good idea for you to definitely have that.
All right, and I also got a 5-bar use for like 5 seconds.
Okay. So going around this virtual table here of what we talked about today, what are your last comments there, BB, on this for today?
None.
Danny T.
I'm not changing my XLR cable.
Danny T, you got any comments?
No, since I missed most of it, yeah, I'm not sure what y'all touched on. So,
Gotcha. Swerve, you got anything?
Nah, that's it. Until the next one.
Okay.
Everybody, quick look, follow me, Swerve Hits on IG and Facebook and all that.
All right. I just wanted to pop that in there real quick. And then while we wait for Joe, okay.
I don't have nothing to say. Like Swerve said, till the next time, let's do it again. Follow DJ Joe Storm on all social media platforms.
All right. And I am DJ Square Knot on IG. I am real DJ Square Knot, and everywhere else I am at DJ Square Knot. Please feel free to share any information you need that you want to with me. And please, feel free to reach out to us to talk about topics and go from there. So we got it. And Danny T, you want to share your social media real quick? All right, unmute yourself. Let me.
all right, sorry, I couldn't find my screen. I mean my screen. I think it's DJ Danny T _WOSP, and that's short for Wheels of Steel Productions. So DJ Danny T _WOSP.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
So on that note, we really appreciate everybody. We got Big Said. Shout out to Big Said. Salute. Shout out to J Rock for chiming in. Salute. We got let me see who else in here. Yep, it was Big Said and J Rock who was chiming in, and Big Said was in here cracking up, of course. And Big Said, read the manual always. Might find a nugget or two in the manuals. And hey, it's true, you know, and I am guilty of it. But I learned a valuable lesson this particular time, and I will make it happen. So on that note, y'all, I really appreciate you guys coming in and joining from the DJ Information Group. We appreciate you guys coming in, and we're gonna go head on and head on out. But we're gonna head out with one of these lovely ladies we were able to come. She came through. We were able to interview her, and this song just really rocks to me. So peace out, y'all. Until next week, we'll see you there. Oh, DJ Travis Gales, he is back. DJ Travis Gales, you got any last comments and any last words on today's topics? Unmute yourself, sir.
Hold up, fellas. I missed everything. What did I miss?
Oh, we talked about manuals. We are reading the manual. We talked about the reloops. We talked about the S9 to the S11, and just what is to come, and cables and all kinds of stuff. So,
well, like I said, I'll just wait till y'all have a big sale and I come and pick it up. Hey, I know I don't buy nothing new. I don't buy.
Yeah, Travis is the man who does not buy new equipment. He waits for that used stuff to come through and he picks it up. So
I buy new cases, I buy new wires, I'll buy stuff like accessories, but as far as the equipment itself, I buy all used.
Gotcha. Well, this has been great, man. I appreciate you coming in. Hopefully you can get in the next one next Thursday. We try to do it right around lunchtime, between 12 and 1 we start up, and then we'll take about an hour and a half and do what we got to do, close it out, and keep moving. So this has been great DJ. Salute to all of you guys. Thank you guys. Thanks from the DJ Information Group, and we're going to do what we got to do. Miss Ashley DeBose is going to take us out. Salute to her. Very great young lady, and she is very powerful. So please be sure to check her out. Y'all take care. This is your man, DJ Square, not from the DJ Information Group. Peace.
Right now, we can ride all day until the sun goes